Welcome again to Can TV 21 Hotline. Let's talk etiquette. I am so excited about this show today. We have such wonderful information to share with you. But first, you need to call us and get in the conversation. Join us at 312-738-1060. Please give us a call. Let us know what you think, what you feel. Your opinion is important to us. But first, before we start the show off, I want to introduce my very, very, very special co-host, Miss Georgia Selman, Etiquette Extraordinary. I'm telling you, if you could see this lady at work, you would be convinced she is indeed Etiquette Maven Extraordinary.
Thank you. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate being here. I appreciate co-hosting the show with you. It is indeed an honor and a privilege. So thank you for having me co-host.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You're making the show so lively and so interesting, and your contribution is really appreciated. But last week, as you well know, we were on the subject of parenting. And, you know, we've gotten so much response. I mean, it's just people want us to continue to talk about it. They've given us ideas on what to talk about in regards to parenting. So we're going to devote another show to this grand subject. And, I mean, it is so, so important. One of our failings as a society is this thing called parenting. We have really dropped the ball.
And I think for so many different reasons. Parents are busy, they're professionals, they're working, there's so many single parents in the homes today, and parenting is probably one of the greatest challenges that we're having in society. Having to parent our children. There's so many different influences out there. So it's a challenge, and that's why it's such a hot topic today, because parents are younger.
Yes.
And the responsibilities are greater.
It is.
So.
Yes. And they turn into us, the elders.
Yes,
for advice and how they could raise their children to be better human beings, better citizens. And we are happy to provide that. And I know you do a lot of counseling to younger women, especially those in your church.
Mentoring,
counseling, mentoring them on how to raise their child. And so we're going to return to that subject today. And actually, we have a much more grander topic in terms of our overhead today. It's save the next generation. Teach manners and morals. That is so, I mean, how do we save this next generation? What do we need to do as an organization, the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois? How can we contribute to that?
We need to continue. We need to just continue the dialogue and conversation about manners and morals. We have to stay on that page. I know people may say, you know, when are you going to change the subject? Well, we're gonna change the subject and the topic when we start seeing a difference in our children.
Yes.
And I can speak from personal experience.
Yes.
I'm in the schools.
Yes.
I'm a guest teacher, a substitute teacher at a number of schools in a district. And I'm from kindergarten to 5th and 6th grade. And I see the need. I see the dire need to teach and continue to teach and continue to teach and continue to teach the subject of manners and morals. But we need to put greater emphasis to the parents.
So true.
Parents need to come on board, be a part of the dialogue.
Yes.
And begin to really, really emphasize and teach in the home.
In the home.
Because school starts at home. That's the first school.
Yes.
The importance of manners and morals.
Yes, yes, yes. And today you were telling me on our way to the studio here about your class today. You had
I
kindergartners
had
today.
kindergartners today.
And some of the things that happened in your kindergarten class was just very interesting. So please, before the show is over with, kind of share a little bit of that with us, okay?
Absolutely. We have
But
a caller.
we have a caller. Caller, you on the air?
Yeah, good evening to y'all. Okay, well, I was going to say to y'all, okay, when you said about the system, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay, about the system.
A system?
Okay, that failed okay, when you said the young generation had failed, like Rod Manuel and Eddie Johnson them, the media is probably a problem. Every time when the violence coming in on the south side and the west side, and then you hear about the violence the next day, and then Rod Manuel them and everybody, the politicians have failed the young generation, and they in there for that money, like the media is. Every time when something happens, the media come in on the west side and the south side.
Yes.
I used to call your show. This is Jan. I used to call the guy your show a lot.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, thanks for calling in. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
A lot of the responsibility can be laid on our politicians. There's just not enough resources. That's probably, one of the biggest problems, a lack of resources. That the schools are in debt.
I think it's the responsibility of every and all adults.
That's true.
So to target one specific group of people or entity, I don't think is the answer.
Okay.
I think we all should take responsibility, and we should all do something about it.
Yes.
It's easy to point the finger and it's easy to blame. That's not the solution. I think the solution should be a combination of people coming together, first recognizing that there is a problem,
Oh, yes.
and then coming together with solutions. That's my take. I think
Yes.
we need to all stop pointing the finger and say who's not doing what.
Right.
We all need to be responsible and be held accountable for the conditions of our children today.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
everyone get on board with teaching manners and morals,
Yes.
then I
Yes.
think we can better our communities, our
Yes.
homes, and society. There's another caller.
Yeah,
Let's
and
take the
and
call.
that and that's what's lacking too in terms of why our children are behaving the way they are today. When they become teenagers and young adults, the behavior is the byproduct of not being educated and have to have good manners and morals. So we can all take a part in solving the problem. It's an educational problem, and it's a lack of parenting.
Absolutely.
That's really,
Starts in the home.
Right. That's where it really starts at. That's the foundation of all the ills we're having today. And that's what the Foundation of Illinois, Etiquette Foundation of Illinois is all about, trying to get this message out to the parents that you can make a difference in the community
Absolutely.
and change the conditions that we're going through. You can't depend on the politicians, or you can't depend on business. We have to step up. And that's, I think, what you're saying.
That's
we
exactly
have to
what
step
I'm
up,
saying.
and this is what we are about in this particular organization. But we have a caller.
Yes.
Caller?
Hello?
Yes.
You are so absolutely, positively right. It starts in the home.
Yes.
The mother and the father have to tell these kids,
Yes.
you cannot go out the house with your breast out. You cannot go out the house with your pants around your ankles.
Right.
It's disgusting, and it's not fair to all the people who fought and died for our people to get somewhere in life. You are
Absolutely.
absolutely right. It is not the home. You started in the home. You don't blame the police. You don't blame the mayor. It is
No.
not his fault.
No.
It is in each and every person's house
Yes.
who lets them kids get out and run rampant
Right.
and be able to talk to anybody anyway.
Yes.
It's just not fair anymore.
You're absolutely
So
right.
agreed. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so important what you said. It just simply reinforces what we are preaching over here at the Etiquette Foundation. It is indeed the parent. The parent is the person who birthed the child.
Yes.
Who gave birth to this child? You did.
Absolutely.
So whose responsibility is it 20 years from now that your child is out there wreaking havoc on the community? Your fault.
That's right. I totally agree.
Your fault.
You know, I know there's going to be a lot of controversy about our position,
Yeah.
but I believe in what I'm saying, and I strongly believe that there are solutions.
Yes.
But I think the solutions should start at the home, in the home.
In the home.
It has to, because we are our children's first teachers.
Yes.
We, parents.
Yes.
And we set the foundation. We set the standards,
Yes.
or we should. And once those principles and those standards are taught in the home,
Yes.
those same principles, morals, and standards will go into the schools, will go into the workplace, will go wherever our young people go.
Go. And those lessons should start as soon as the child begins to speak.
Yes.
Even before, you should start those lessons, because you should have total control over your house and your child. So there's not a lot of interference with this process. And it's just a matter of the parents stepping up and beginning to say, my child, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I want this person to be a great human being.
Yes.
A service to the community, someone I can be proud of. I think we have another caller.
We have another caller.
Wonderful. Caller.
Yes, and good evening, guys. How y'all guys
Hey,
doing?
Steve,
Fine.
how are you?
And I'm sorry I missed y'all.
Yeah, last week I was wondering what happened to you.
Man, sometimes it gets so busy, it's hard for me to get home.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Yes.
Listen, this is a wonderful topic. Matter of fact, it's so wonderful, it would almost take what you start out to say, then we have to start dealing with this. I'm going to try to make this quick as possible. It's a big word, accountability, and that accountability could be split up and given to everybody.
Yes.
Right.
Number one, it starts at home. It starts at home. That's number one. Then when they go out in the streets, that's what used to be the so-called village, your neighborhood, the proprietors of different businesses. Then you go to school. Well, a lot of people think it should be done. The teacher's supposed to teach you everything. The teacher's there to teach you, give you some knowledge.
Right.
Not to tell you to come in there and say, listen, no saying bad words, don't be disrespectful. They don't even know anything about respect. So again, it was an old joke. You follow somebody home, and they doing it, you follow it home, they going to be doing the same thing in the house. Well, you know what? We have lost our village, our surrounding neighborhoods. People
True.
just scared. I'm going to give you a prime example. Last week, the young little girl out there in Joliet, well, that surrounding little neighborhood right there, everyone knew what was going into that and being into that house right there.
Yes.
Yes.
And then show you there was these, and I don't even want to blame them, because a lot of people simply just want to do their work, get paid, and let me go home. They don't care about anything. That's another thing. People do not care.
We used to care.
They
That's
don't
so true.
care. They want to put their responsibilities on everyone else except themselves.
Yes.
But again, people knew what was going on with that neighborhood, so they go show you the village is gone.
Yes.
The village is gone.
So if you
Unfortunately.
don't have no one teaching you, you're going to have feral children running around the neighborhood, just biting, barking, don't have no sense, don't want to have no sense. The only thing they want to do is do what they see out in the streets or
Yes.
what they see on TV or the radio or these videos and all of this social media stuff. They're going to believe into it. So, again, I think we need God to come in. We
Yes.
need more churches to try to open up their doors and do things. Help with the teachers.
Yes.
Come up to the schools. Take them to church. We used to have a Sunday school, church school, once a week at my school, and we all go there. We all had to learn about the Bible, then we get a chance to play some ball.
In
But
fact,
again, we need a lot of help,
yes.
a lot of help. If we don't, my God, I feel so
Well,
sorry for
Steve,
my
you
grandchildren.
you said something very important there. Getting the church involved. I think this subject, this theme, we should, as an organization, begin to send flyers out to the churches, encouraging them to talk to their congregation about teaching their children manners and morals, and maybe even providing some basic information. And we have a little single sheet
Yes.
that we'd be more than happy to provide to a church so they can make copies of it and share it with their parents. This has to be a village enterprise. We all are involved, and we
Yes.
all have to work to solve the problem. And so, Steve, that was a great suggestion. I think we should really
Thank you.
do that.
Absolutely.
Get our information out there to the churches so they can begin to get parents more aware of what their responsibility, that was another word Steve used, their responsibilities are as parents, and get involved in changing this society, because it's up to us to do it.
Well,
Yes.
I totally agree with you as well, Steve. And I do know that there are a number of organizations, churches, community centers, Girl Scout, Boy Scouts, a lot of the municipalities, park districts, a lot of them are doing what they do. And to give credit to those organizations that's providing services to young people and to families. But we're talking specifically about a concept that we see, that we know of, and that's lacking in these various communities and organizations. Now, at my church, we do etiquette education.
Right.
We have a program for youth, for our young men and for the young ladies. But that's my church. I don't know about other churches. We want this whole concept for people to catch on
Yes.
in our schools. And I'm just going to give you an example. I was with the kindergarten class today.
Yes, you were telling me about that.
Yes, and the kids, we had a break for a water break where the kids could go and receive water. Well, I had each table, it's about 5 different tables, and I said, okay, table red, the red table, you guys can get up. And the kids jumped up and they ran as quickly as they can go to the faucet, and the little boys was pushing the little girls, and the little girls were pushing. And I said, hey, hold on here. I said, no, let the young lady go first. And the little boys, well, I was in line before she was. I said, no, but you are a gentleman.
Yes.
You are a gentleman.
Yes.
We're going to let the young ladies go first because you are a gentleman.
Yes.
And his little eyes stretched, and he backed back, and he let the young lady. And I said, no, that's what a gentleman does, is let the young lady go first. So the little girls, they felt good about going first. And I continue to emphasize that is what a gentleman does.
Yes.
And they looked. But I'm a substitute. I may not go back to that school until next school year.
Right.
It has to be taught in the schools as well.
Yes.
It has to be taught
Reinforced
at home.
Well, it's like this very issue here about gender. Now, if you're raising a son, you should teach him about how to be respectful toward females.
Yes.
The opposite sex. Son, you have a special role to play as a gentleman. And so your son would know the difference when it comes to situations like that. And you're probably the only one who declared that he was supposed to be a gentleman. He may not have even ever heard the word, because his parents failed to educate this male child in the responsibilities of what a gentleman does. And this is something we have to do. We mothers, we fathers have
The
to teach the
teachers,
difference
yes.
in what your role is as a human being, on planet Earth.
Yes.
You have a special role to play that's a little different from a female.
Yes.
But yet, you see it in your classroom. The boys are treating the girls like they're equals in every regard, beating on them, punching them,
Pushing them.
tricking them, tripping them, and all of that. And like it doesn't matter, but remember, parents, when you do not teach your son the differences, then when he gets 25, he'll be beating up his wife because he didn't learn, how to be a gentleman when he was 4 and 5 years old, when you should have taught him.
And the young ladies
Yes.
will have little to no expectations of how to be treated like a young lady.
Now,
She'll run to the car, they'll walk to the car, she will get in, open the door for herself, and not have a clue
no,
that protocol
yes,
is that the young man opens the door for you.
yes, yes.
Those are manners.
Manners,
Those are the morals that we're talking about.
yes. Manners
Young
and
ladies being
morals.
treated like a young lady.
Yes,
And the young man taking on the responsibility of being a gentleman, a
Yes.
man.
and he can learn this at 5 and 6 years of age.
Well, I was in kindergarten class today, and that's where I started.
Right.
That's what I was promoting.
Right.
And he didn't. The little boy kind of looked like, well, I was in line first. I said, but you are a young man. You are a gentleman.
Yes,
She's a young lady.
yes,
Let her go first.
yes.
And he was okay with that.
Once you explained to him, he was okay.
He was okay with it.
Instinctively, he felt like, okay, that made sense,
It made sense to him.
and I'll adhere to that. But it has to be reinforced.
It has to be.
Right. So parents, please take the time to teach your child. Your home school is the most important education you can give your child. And it doesn't stop as soon as your child starts kindergarten.
No.
Your home school should go on until your child graduates from high school.
Absolutely.
And we're encouraging parents, and we may do more on this on our next show. We're encouraging parents to take that hour and a half a day. Hours is not a lot of time. For the 5 days of the week, an hour to continue your homeschool education.
And start with teaching your child the 3 laws of good character, honesty,
I can put that up.
integrity,
Yes.
and morality.
Yes. These are the 3 that Miss Selma just...
Honesty, character, and integrity.
Teach those 3 words to your child until they're 18 years of age. Instill those values in them. And I guarantee you, your child will not be picking up a gun and going out in the streets and killing somebody. With honesty, character, and integrity as their foundation. And you parents can give this knowledge, these values, to your child.
Starting at home.
Let's say it again.
Teachers, well, okay,
Yeah.
starting at home.
home.
Teachers,
Yes,
teachers,
yes,
include this concept in your daily curriculum, in
Yes.
your lesson plan.
yes,
Teaching manners and morals,
yes,
honesty,
yes,
what it means to have good character,
yes,
how to say thank you,
yes.
and having good integrity.
And please, may I?
May
And
I?
you're welcome.
Yes.
And just quickly, we're teaching teenagers the simple thing of how to introduce themselves.
Yes.
And they're teenagers, and they haven't learned that yet. Well, it looks like we're about out of time, Miss Selman. It's too short, isn't it?
It's too short.
Yes.
Such an interesting subject.
Yes.
And we want to spread the word to everyone.
Please, everyone.
We want you to call into the show.
Yes.
We want you to join in for conversation.
Yes,
We believe in what we're doing,
absolutely.
and we're going to do it until the job is
It's
done.
And with that, I'll say good night. Join us again next week, and we'll have another awesome subject again for you.
Bring your questions.
Yes, and be
Bring
prepared.
conversation.
Yes.
We are excited, and we want to excite you.
Yes, yes, yes. And with that, I would say good night, and you would say
Good night, and stay tuned next Wednesday at 7:30.
good night.
Good night.